Ha guys, let's get more news about Warriors, but first don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Warriors Brandon Podmski sets franchise record without scoring a point. The Golden State Warriors got their season started off in the right way on Wednesday night, using a huge second half to blow out the Portland Trail Blazers. Won 139-104 and moved to 1-0 on the young season. The Warriors led by just 12 at the half, but a 37-22 third quarter put the game away and allowed the bench to close things out in the fourth. One player that saw a lot of action in the second half was guard Brandon Podmski, a second-year player who showed very promising flashes as a rookie. Podmski can knock down a shot when asked to, but also does plenty of the little things well. He defends hard, rebounds extremely well for his size, and isn't afraid to step in and take a charge. The jumper wasn't falling for Podzamski in this one, as he finished the game scoreless on 0-4-5 shooting with 4 missed three-pointers. However, he still managed to set a franchise record. His plus-minus of +34 was the best mark in any season opener in Warriors history, according to StatMomba. One of the draws of playing Podzamski as a rookie was all of the different ways that he impacted winning. That is something that led Steve Kerr to start the rookie at times over franchise legend Klay Thompson, and those traits are bearing out once again in his second season. Plus-minus is a flawed stat, but the fact that Podzamski is at the top of the list for the Warriors tonight speaks volumes about his impact. The Golden State Warriors made it a priority to build out their depth this offseason, and they did just that. Even after losing Klay Thompson to the Dallas Mavericks and free agency, the Warriors added helpful pieces such as Buddy Hield to Anthony Melton and Kyle Anderson. As a result, Steve Kerr went with a 12-man rotation in the season opener against the Blazers and said post-game that that was going to continue for the foreseeable future. That depth should help their older veterans Stephen Curry, Kevin Looney and Draymond Green stay fresh and healthy. A blowout like they had in the season opener will also help them stay fresh. Curry only played 25 minutes in this one. Green played 20 and Looney played 14. As many nights like this as they can get will add up as the season winds down in the spring. Of course, the Warriors' ceiling still comes down to Curry. If he can still be one of the truly elite players in the league, then this Warriors team can be a legitimate playoff contender. The jumper wasn't falling at the rate that we all know it can in the opener, but Curry played a smart, methodical game and controlled everything on the offensive end, finishing with 17 points, 9 rebounds and 10 assists. It remains to be seen how the extended rotation will work out for Kerr and the Warriors, but as long as Curry is humming, they should be just fine. Even in a difficult Western Conference, Warriors Steve Kerr commits to crowded rotation after win versus Blazers, fresh off signing a 3-year $39 million extension that cements him as a fixture for the Golden State Warriors. Moses Moody entered Wednesday's season opener for the first time to open the second quarter, even more damning, at least in the moment, of his place in the Dubs' rotational hierarchy to tip off 2024-25. Moody was Golden State's 7th man off the bench and 12th player to get on the floor in as many minutes of action. The Warriors' new strength and numbers certainly didn't always look good in Rip City, but after an ugly first few minutes from a new starting lineup, the Dubs easily pulled away from the overmatched Portland Trail Blazers at Moda Center for 139-104 victory. Buddy Hield led Golden State with 22 points, imbuing his team with some much-needed energy in long-range shooting. As its first man off the bench, Andrew Wiggins shook off a rough start to score 20 points on 8 of 15 shooting, including 4 triples. Stephen Curry didn't manage his first field goal until shaking loose for a backdoor layup well into their second quarter, coming alive after a halftime to finish with 17 points, 9 rebounds and 10 assists. All but 3 of Moody's 15 points came in extended garbage time. Tracy Jackson Davis to Anthony Melton and Jonathan Kuminga, clearly still acclimating to his primary role on the wing, were the only other Warriors to reach double figures. That hardly means Draymond Green, Kevin Looney, Brandon Podmski and Kyle Anderson didn't contribute to Golden State's blowout victory. They connected the game on both ends with quick hitting passes passes, perfectly angled screens and the typical fight they always provide. How could Steve Kerr possibly make a decision on trimming his extended rotation after Wednesday's game? The four-time champion coach, breaking with long-standing personal and league-wide norms, has simply decided against it, committing to the same 12-man rotation he rolled out in Portland. Warriors' next all-star trade target is becoming more and more obvious. The Golden State Warriors are about to enter the new NBA season with a sense of optimism after producing an unbeaten 6-0 record throughout the preseason. But while the depth of the Warrior roster proved a major strength over the preseason, there remains this nagging feeling that the franchise desperately lacks more star power to partner 2x MVP Stephen Curry, having tried but failed to acquire either Paul George or Lauri Markkanen during the offseason. It appears Golden State are acutely aware of their need for another legitimate all-star. As the new season gets underway, it's now becoming more and more obvious who their trade target could be. Miami Heat star Butler has continually been mentioned in relation to a trade to the Warriors, with that link having been established when reports of potential disgruntlement at the Heat emerged in late May. Sam Amch of The Athletic reported in early September that Golden State had interest in Butler and that it could have indeed extended to conversations between themselves and Miami revolving a potential trade. Fast forward to now, and the Warriors' chances of trading for Butler may have got a major boost on the even of the season. According to Anthony Chang of the Miami Herald, Butler is expected to turn down any contract extension offered to become a free agent in 2025. The expectation at this point is that Butler will pass on the extension even if the Heat offers it, according to sources, and then opt out of his current contract to become a free agent next summer. Chang wrote, if Butler is indeed unwilling to recommit to the Heat, then surely the franchise would have to do its due diligence in exploring trade options rather than potentially lose the 6x All-Star for nothing in free agency. The Warriors could be towards the front of the queue if that does eventuate. A recent 14 trade proposal from Eric Pincus of Bleacher Report had Golden State acquiring Butler in exchange for Andrew Wiggins, Jonathan Kuminga, Gary Trent, 2 Kevin Looney and 2 second-round picks via the Atlanta Hawks. That potential deal remains a viable one after Kuminga failed to reach an extension agreement with Golden State prior to On day's deadline, the 35-year-old Butler averaged 20.8 points, 5.3 rebounds and 5.0 assists with the Heat last season, having shot 49.9% from the floor and a career-high 41.4% from three-point range. And you fan, what do you think of the situation of Jimmy Butler? Leave your opinion in the comments.